Hi friends, it's Susan Smith with Stamp Creatively. This new catalog is set up a little bit different than what we've had before, and so there's some things you might have missed. So I'm using some designer series paper. I'm using a stamp set that is on one of the instruction pages called Fields of Bloom, and I'm using a die set that's a carryover that has 10 different dyed images. It's the one that's called Thoughtful Moments. And I'll show you how I put those together. Here's my card. And the Thoughtful Moments, so I run it through and get 10 of them, and then pull out the one I want, and then put the rest of them in an envelope so I can use later. So let me show you how I did this. So I took my Field of Blooms, and I took some basic white cardstock, and I took 2 different colors of ink for both images. So I always go from light to dark. So here's the bottom grassy part, and I'm going to use Lemon Lime Twist, and I'm just going to ink the top of this. Then I'm going to take my Granny Apple and do some inking on the bottom, because I want those 2 colors to kind of be happy together. I'm going to stamp that down. Oh, I have my foam piece over here to make sure I get a good image. Oh, it came out good. So you can see the variation of color there. I'm going to turn on my other light to see if it makes it just a little bit brighter. We'll see if that makes that a little bit easier to see. Oh yeah, so there you go. There's my 2 colors. Lemon Lolly and Granny Apple. I'm going to bring my foam over here, because the next one I do, I'm going to close the ink pads that I already used so I don't get messy, because I know myself well enough to know I have a real tendency to do that. So this is Fresh Freesia, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to kind of ink the top of that. And then I've used Highland Heather to kind of make those flowers at the bottom. And then because it's photopolymer, I can see to line that up. And when I turned it over, I saw that there was a couple flowers in here that didn't look like they had much on them. So I just went through and did those again. And so I can see, and I'm looking to put the bigger flowers in the bigger spots. And can you see over here? So see how that image isn't a full image and the rest of them are? Sometimes when you get a brand new photopolymer, I like just drag it across my cardboard a couple of times so that doesn't happen. If it does happen, and I don't want to restamp the whole thing, I'll take a blend, one of our blender pens, and kind of go over it, or I could take one of the blends and kind of go over it and it would blend it. And that's an easy fix to a not solid image. Okay, so I'm going to close this. And then it comes with some clouds. And I stamped them in the Balmy Blue. And you can see how they have, there's just a lot of ink on them. I kind of wanted to take some of that off. I wanted my clouds to be a little bit softer. So instead of stamping off, I just kind of took a little bit of it off with my And now I can put it back on with this too. If I just want a very subtle. And so you can see the difference. One took it off and one put it back on. So it's just not too dark. Let me grab a scrap here. And I'll show you what it would look like if I just stamped it. So you can see the three different, well, get your bone folder out from under there. So that's the three different looks of the clouds. That was if I'd straight stamped it. I lightened it a little bit by putting the blend brush on it. And this I put the blend brush, the color on. It's definitely a big difference in it. I wanted subtle clouds. So now I have this pretty image that I can add to the front of my card. But again, it's called Thoughtful Moments. Has an embossing folder and the dies. So when you run it through, I get 10 words that come out. And like I said, I just put them in an envelope. So I can ink it with a black ink and run it through, and it cuts out that outline image with the ink. I've used it on the gold. So this one was cut out like this, and then I used these blends to color it. If I want to, and I don't want to use that, and I don't want to use my blends, I can take one of these that I just did with the gold. Come on, baggy. And I can add it just because right through the middle. On this one, I used the purple fine shimmer gems, and I used this new ribbon that's iridescent. You see the ribbon on there? It's got an iridescent stripe to it. And then I took the Full of Life Designer Series paper, and I took this sheet and just cut out a row of checks. And that's what's added to there, just because I wanted something a little bit fun. So for this one, I think I'm going to use this. I'm going to mix up the embellishments a little bit, and we're going to do it just a little bit different, just because we can. I still want to mount it on the Highland Heather, so I'm going to go ahead and put it on here. This is the Fresh Freesia, and the last one I've folded over and then just folded it back on itself so that this had kind of a fun little, and then that's what gave the, boy, that's not cut straight. I don't know who cut that one, but she didn't cut it straight. And that way I could add this, and I felt like it showed a little bit better. And I'm going to do this just a little bit different. I want to, instead of folding it back, I'm going to cut it off. Oh, and I'm cutting off, I cut off about 1.5 inches. For those of you who like the measurements, so I'm going to put this on here. I've cut this piece off, and there's so many of these pretty papers that I thought went well with this. I mean, I thought that was pretty. Let me show you. Oh, see. This one would be pretty. So would that one. I like this one too. And as you know, I hold them over, you can see how many of them coordinate with it without being too matchy-matchy. I still like this. I like that back over there. I liked this. Okay, so again, I said I wanted to do this one different. So I'm going to put this away. And I'm going to grab one of our new designer series papers. Okay, so I guess it's not new. It's the Highland Heather. I store these papers in big 12 by 12 craft keepers. This is that Highland Heather paper that's so pretty. Or, I'm sorry, it's that lavender paper that's so pretty. It's got the Highland Heather in it. Look how that looks. That's beautiful. Okay, so we're going to put that on there. I'm going to cut this piece. How big do you think I should make this? Do I want it to be... I guess I just probably want a strip down there. So I'll do 1.5 inches. The same that I took off. And then I'm going to go ahead and make it 5.5 so it goes the whole card. That was kind of a change my mind at the last minute. I just decided, sometimes on these videos I don't like to do the exact same card. I like to give you some variety. So I'm going to leave a little smidge so you can see that fresh freesia over the edge. And then I've got this. Oh gosh, that's really pretty. So I want to do this for camp, and now I'm questioning which way I'm going to do it. What the heck? So I want to raise this up with some dimensionals. I'm at the edge of my dimensionals here. So I'm going to take that strip off. Stick it on. I still like these gems with it though. So I'm going to still use these gems. Oh, I know. I have a take your pick tool. I could use it. I hear you all going, what's she doing? I got my just because. So I can put that on there just like that, and it looks fine. But I think I want something underneath. I wove this ribbon underneath this card, so you can see that iridescent ribbon. I'm not sure I want to weave this. That made that one puffy. I don't know that I want this one puffy, but I think I like the idea of just laying some of this down and cutting it and putting it on. Our ribbons are not, I can't put the seal on the ribbon, but I can put the seal down and put the ribbon on top. And then I have my just because that's going to get, I feel like my camera is like sunk. So you can see that just because it's right there. And I'm going to use those little mini dimensionals that were right here a minute ago. I'm sure you all see them. Oh, here they are. Sometimes I feel like you can see stuff that I can't even find. So now I have my just because. This stuck to my finger. Come on, friend. And then because I've made this a little shiny, I think I may shine up some of my clouds. I love it. Okay, you'll have to tell me which one you like better. Let's move these out of the way so you can see them both. Do you like the hello words that are colored with the Fun Designer Series paper? Or do you like the Just Because with the lavender paper? It's a hard call. It kind of depends on who it's going to and what you're in the mood for. Because I definitely have some hello friends that need the bright colors, and I have some of the Just Because friends too. All right, thanks for joining me. I appreciate your time. Have a great day. Bye. Oh, I guess I never do this. My granddaughter Ruby always says, Gammy, you need to say, find me on, I'm at StampCreatively.com. You're welcome to go in and ask for my email. I send videos that you may not be able to find, and I would love to connect. So it's StampCreatively.com, and you can find me on YouTube, or I have a blog. All right, have a good day. Bye.